just to again describe and to show you what we're going to be doing. So today we're going to do a rolling exercise, and it's called the open leg rocker. All right, so there are a couple of different rolling exercises in the original 34. So there's one called rolling like a ball, which is like pretty much the most basic one. And we've been practicing that in a few of our classes. And then you can do a little progression from there. You can do something called the seal. And then we also have some other more controlled rolling exercises. We did it in the very first session. That was our rollover. I mean, essentially that's a rolling exercise, but then we kind of stay back there. There's another rolling exercise that we do called the boomerang. We're going to do that on Friday. There's another one called the jackknife. Those are all more controlled. This one is called the open leg rocker, and it's sort of in between each of them because you roll back, you roll forward, but then when you're seated, you have to stay there and demonstrate control. So I'm going to show it to you so you know what to expect. There's a lot of hamstring length involved. There's also back extensor work involved. So a lot of people end up straining into the back, which we don't want. So you need to kind of find a place where you can have the abdominals and the back muscles working together for this. And the breathing is incredibly important here as well, guys. The breathing is weird. You inhale to roll back, and you exhale to roll up and then come into your starting position again. And the breathing really helps you with the movement. Guys, if any of you have neck issues, and I'm talking about maybe osteoporosis or like a damaged cervical spine, please just be very, very wary of this one or careful with this one so that you don't roll onto your neck. All right, we want to take the rolling action onto the shoulders so that there's actually never any pressure or contact of the head or the neck onto the floor. Okay, so you just need to monitor that for yourself. So I'm going to demonstrate this for you so you know what we're going to be doing. So the first thing is you do want to make sure when you're doing this that you're sitting towards the front of your mat, because when you roll back, you want to have a soft landing here. You don't want to roll onto the hard floor at the end. All right, so you're going to be seated with your legs elevated. You're going to be holding onto the outsides of your ankles, and then you're going to be extending your legs as straight as they can go. So if you've got flexible hamstrings, you're going to straighten them completely, or you might have them bent. But in this position, you want to lengthen the spine, so you are drawing the shoulders down and finding balance. You're going to curve the tailbone under to roll back onto the shoulders. And then you roll back up again. And at the top here, this is where you've got to lengthen the spine and extend. So it's an inhale back. And then exhale forward, and you lengthen the spine there. So guys, did you notice as well that my elbows didn't bend at all? So it's one of the things that you want to think about, and I will talk to you about, is that the elbows stay straight the whole time, because that's going to make sure you maintain the angle of your spine in relation to your legs, that you don't start doing this with your legs and with your body. Okay, so I'll remind you about that. Do you guys have any questions before we start? Have fun with it. Here's the crazy thing. If you actually watch like a 3-year-old in a playground or in a gym area, they do this stuff. This is fun. Like they just do it so instinctively, right? And then as we get older, we start to become a little bit afraid of using the ground and using our bodies. So, you know, you just kind of have to figure out how far to push yourself. But, you know, at the end of the day, it should, you know, Pilates doesn't have to be like a serious business. It's supposed to be fun, I think. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move down.
Sorry, Renee. My issue is my hands are so sweaty that I can't hold onto my legs.
Yeah, no, listen, I get that as well, because my hands and my feet actually sweat as well, which is why when I'm doing this, I oftentimes tend to hold onto the side of my pants so that I have like a little bit of a non-slip feeling here. Otherwise, I just always make sure that I never ever put on skin lotion, like body lotion before a class, because that makes it even 10 times worse. But the other thing you could do is, if you've got a little hand towel, grab the towel and you put the towel over your shins and then hold the towel, because you're not going to be moving your legs anyway. So then you've got like a nice grip with the towel and for your hands. Maybe try that, see if it works.
Good idea.
Fantastic. All right. And everyone else good? You ready to give it a shot? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a lead up to be able to do it. So I'm gonna mute the background noise. If you guys have any questions, just unmute yourself or pop a little chat into the chat box. Okay, guys, we're gonna start in a standing position. So just come towards the back end of your mats and separate your feet slightly. Big toes in line with each other, arms nice and soft beside you. And then just lift your chin so that your eye line is towards the horizon. And take a moment to just bend and straighten the knees a few times. And so as you bend and straighten your knees, just really let your toes spread out on the ground. Feel as you bend the knees that you still have your heels connected to the floor. So you might even need to shift your body weight back slightly as you do this. And it's quite a nice way for you to start to connect into the ground underneath you. And then straighten your knees and stay here. We're going to inhale to shrug shoulders. Feel your ribs expand. And then slowly glide your shoulders down and find a little bit of length up along the back of your neck. And again, breathing in, shrug. And exhale, glide the shoulders down. One more time, breathe in, lift your shoulders up. Exhale, glide your shoulders down. And just stay here for a moment. Allow your eyes to close or perhaps soften your gaze and look downwards. Pausing for a moment as you feel the shape of your body in space. Feel the connections of your feet to the ground and your head up towards the clouds. Softening the lines around your forehead and the tops of your cheeks. Softening your lips and your tongue. And taking 3 gentle breaths in and out. Notice how your breath expands the back of your ribs and lungs. This is the breath that's going to help us grow in our exercise today. Deep inhale. Exhale. And then just blinking your eyes open. Let's go into our first roll down. Take a breath in. On your exhale, look towards your feet and start that articulation of your spine, finding the weight of your hands, finding the weight of your crown, softening into your knees and coming all the way down towards the floor. Give your head a little shake. Nod your head, yes, yes, yes. And then on your next breath, walk down onto all fours. And stand here with your toes tucked under. Getting the wrists into a happy place, slide your shoulders away from your ears. And on your next breath, see if you can lift your knees just up off the ground. Just finding the connections into all the major joints of your body, finding the stability around those joints. Energy through your crown, energy through your tail. Feel all 10 toes, feel all 10 fingertips connecting to the ground. And then on your next breath, releasing the knees down and relaxing your feet all the way out. Let's move into a cat stretch. So on your breath, tuck your tail under and feel that rolling action of your spine as you press away from your hands. Take a little breath in, and then exhale, let your tailbone reach out first. Coming just into a neutral position of the spine and holding it there. Take a breath in. Exhale, tuck your tail. Feel the curling of your spine, lifting into the belly, pushing away from your hands. And then reach your tailbone back. We're only coming to neutral. And can you find a connection into these muscles here, the latissimus dorsi? One more time. Exhale, tuck your tail. Rounding your spine all the way up. And then exhale, reaching your tail, just coming back to neutral, and you hold it here. Take your left leg, slide it back. And then on your breath, lift your leg up and holding it here. Flexing your foot, energy through your heel, energy through your crown. Sweep your leg around to the left side and placing your foot down. Roll your foot flat. Guys, remember that if your knees, your ankles, your hip doesn't like this position, you figure out what works for you. Long spine. Start moving your hips back and releasing forward. Good. And again, you guys know that this is the inner thigh release, that adductor fascia release. So this is going to facilitate the starting position that we're in with the open leg rocker. You need to have some flexibility around the inner thighs and also around the hamstrings here. And this is also lovely because it connects into that deep midline fascia, which is the pelvic floor. You're going to need that too. Last one. And come forward, hold it. Pick up your leg. Sweep it all the way around to the back. Stay here. Once again, flex your foot. Energy through your crown. Energy through your heel. Point your toe again, and now step your foot all the way through between your two hands. You're going to walk your hands up onto that top knee. If you need padding under your right leg, then give yourself some padding here. So find a little bit of energy through your crown, firm up the lower abs, and let's just move the body weight forwards and backwards a little bit. So we're just going to get a bit of an opening to the hip joints. So the other thing is, when you're sitting in that V position for the open leg rocker, the hip flexors are shortened, but your arms are actually holding the position of your legs. You don't actually have to work the hip flexors so much. But sometimes if the hip flexors are tight, they start to grab, they start to spasm, which we don't really want. So this is a lovely release here. Let's take one more time. Now bring yourself into a position where you feel the best stretch. And then see if you can bring your arms out in front of you. Find your balance. This is about core connection, it's about balance. And then maybe you can bring your arms all the way up. Hold it there. Do you still have balance? Do you have some tensioning on that line of fascia? And then on your next breath, bring your hands all the way forward and just put your fingertips next to the front heel. Long spine. Start moving your hips backwards and forwards. And you want to now start bringing the focus to the back of the leg, the back of the left leg. So the hamstring is going to start to get a release here. And again, I think you guys have pretty much done this with me if you've done any of my classes. We're going to do one more time. Now stay here. Make sure that this left hip isn't lifted. You want to drop the hip so your pelvis is level. You're going to keep the front knee soft and lift your toes up. And then, before you do anything else, lengthen your spine. Now, let's do windscreen wipers with the foot, which means the rotation is coming from the hip, internal, external rotation. You're trying to keep the rest of your body nice and stable. So this is our hamstring glide. And again, you can see why this is going to be valuable when we do our open leg rocker. We want the hamstrings released. Keep breathing. Let's do two more. One more. Bring your foot back to the center. Put your toes down, coming all the way forward. Put your hands flat tuck the back toes, and then just lift up enough so that you can put some weight onto your hands. And now step your left leg back. And you're in your plank position. Hold it here. Nice strong body, energy through your crown. Bring your awareness to your upper body, to your latissimus dorsi again, and find the placement of your scapula and your arms. Bring one knee in, bring the other knee in, and holding it here. I'm going to turn around so that you can see me doing the right leg now. Taking your right leg, extend it back, lift your leg up, pause, flex your foot so you're pushing energy out through the heel of the foot. Find the line through the crown of your head, and then sweep that leg all the way around to the side until you can roll that foot flat. Pause, make any adjustments you need, and then with a nice straight spine, start hinging backwards and forwards. So again, this is getting into the adductors, the inner thigh on that right side. And if you're quite tight in the hamstrings, you might start to feel it around the hamstrings as well. 2 more. Gentle rhythmic movement with breath, yeah? Fascia loves oxygen. Bring your shoulders in line with your wrists. Pick up your leg and sweep it around to the back. Pause here. Flex the back foot. Take a moment to find the connections through your body. Point your toe and now step your foot all the way through between your hands. Give yourself padding if you need. Hands come up. And before we move anywhere, we take a moment to connect to center, roots into the front foot, and then start moving gently forwards and backwards. And you'll have a pretty good sense of how far you should go. You'll have a pretty good sense of where is the best position for you to open and release into that left hip flexor now. And then find your position and stay here and breathe. Reach both arms forward, pause for a moment. There's energy in your fingertips, and there's a connection into your deep center, and then start lifting your arms upwards to add that beautiful tensioning to that line of fascia. Stay for a moment and breathe. And then on your next exhale, bring both hands forward, fingertips on either side of the heel of the foot, and then we start moving a little bit backwards and forwards. Decide how far, how big you can go on this right side. And let's just do 2 more. And then bring your hips back. Now, check what that right hip is doing. If it's lifting up, you want to think of rolling that right hip down. Bend the front knee, lift the front toes, and before you do anything else, lengthen the spine. And you start to rotate the toes in and out. So a little bit of a hamstring glide. Allow the movement to come from the top of the hip joints. Little turn in and out. And let's just take 2 more. 1 more. Bring your foot back to the center. Place your toes down. Come forward. And now put both hands flat. Tuck the back toes. You're just going to lift the knee up. It doesn't matter if it's straight or not. But you want to anchor your hands so that you can step back and come to your plank position. Stay here for a moment. And we're trying to find the connections into the mid-back muscles, the middle and lower trapezius, because those are the muscles that need to engage and work in our exercise today, the open leg rocker. Bringing one knee in, bring the other knee in, open your knees wide, big toes together as you sit back, and then just bring yourself forward into a resting position. Put your hands wherever feels best for you. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths in and out. Taking a few more. Last deep inhale and exhale. And then rolling yourself all the way up again. You're going to just take your hips over to your right, legs towards the left, hold onto the ankle and just give yourself a long side stretch. Release. Pivot your feet over to the other side. Long side stretch. And release. Come into a cross-legged position. Now guys, it doesn't matter which leg is in front because you will need to switch it later, so that's absolutely fine. And from here, let's just do a little bit of side-to-side movement. So again, we want to open up those lateral lines of the body in order to facilitate us being able to roll smoothly through the spine. If these side lines are locked or blocked at all, it's going to kind of hold us back a little bit. And let's just take one more time each way. Come back to the center. And now, unfold your right leg. So your right leg goes up. Your left foot is going to pull up nice and high towards the inner thigh, as high as it can go. And I just want you to start by putting your fingertips in front of you. If you're pretty flexible, you could go onto your hands. And now you're welcome to stay here, where you've got both sit bones connected to the ground. There's a gentle flex in this foot. And if this feels fairly easy for you, you can bring your right elbow just above the right knee, so it's not in an uncomfortable place. And you can rest your head into your hand. And then you can either just rest your left hand onto your hip, or if this is super duper comfortable, if you're not feeling too much of a pull around the lower back, you could even add arm overhead. This is a bit intense for me, so I'm just going to keep my hand down here. I'm going to stay here for another 3 breaths in and out. So this is a side bend, opening the lateral line of the body, and we're taking one leg into an extended position, which is going to help us with the open leg rocker. Take one more breath in and out. And then push your head up, so you're helping yourself support your neck. And then we're going to release, unfold that left leg. Just stay here for a moment in that wide straddle split with your hands behind your back, sitting up nice and tall. And then you're going to come into a cross-legged position again, but now you need to remember which side you did the first time. So sit with the opposite leg in front, and once again we go into our lateral flexion of the spine. And so you might notice already, because we did that little side stretch where we held the position, like I can feel my left side is moving quite freely. One more time each way. And coming all the way upright. Now unfold your left leg. Bringing your right foot in nice and high. Guys, if you need to sit on a pillow, feel free to sit on a pillow. And then either fingertips in front, long spine, or palms flat. Depending on where you're comfortable, you can stay here, or you could transition to the elbow. Either way, you can also put a pillow here, and then rest in your head. And then decide what you're going to do with your right hand. Either onto your hip, you can leave it on the floor, or if you want to give yourself that extra stretch with your arm overhead, that's a bit much for me. But I know some of you are really flexible, so that might feel quite nice for you. 3 breaths in and out here. Feel that opening along your right sideline. One more breath in and out. yourself as you come all the way up, and then unfold that right leg, coming into that lovely straddle sit again. Hands behind your back so that you can get that height through the spine. And then on your next breath, place your hands underneath your knees and bring your legs together. So we're going to turn sideways if you aren't sitting sideways already. Come a little bit towards the front edge of your mat, and we're going to go into the half roll back. So this is such a simple exercise, but it's very relevant to what we're doing today. So arms are out, legs are slightly separated, hip distance. There is a lengthening of the spine here. And then as you roll back, initiate the movement from the lower spine. So it's a feeling of the tailbone curling under, and then the rest of your spine goes into a C curve as a result. It's a response. Stay for the breath in, and then exhale, forward you come. And then there is a lengthening from the crown as it travels all the way up through your spine. Take a breath in. Exhale, half roll back. The lower abdominals have to really draw in. It's almost like you're squeezing the muscles around your bladder. Stay for the breath. And exhale forward. And lift up tall. Let's do 3 more. So this movement is the same initiation of the spinal curve when we do open leg rocker. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward, lower abs pulling in, and then there's the lengthening of the spine. So what we don't want is the rounding of the head and then the spine going back. Initiate from lower abs. Stay for the breath in. Exhale, forward, and sit up tall. Last one, guys. Exhale, draw your tail under. Flattening of the abdominals. Taking a breath in. Exhale, forward you come. This time, stay here and start to bring your arms up. Now, if you can, frame your ears with your arms. If you need to take the arms wider to relax the shoulders, then take them wider. That's absolutely fine. And now, keeping the length of your spine, see if you can gently squeeze your hands a little bit back. And release. It's gentle. Squeeze it back. And release. Can you feel those muscles between the shoulder blades? And release. Good. 2 more. And release. 1 more. Bring your hands all the way forward. Take 1 more breath in. And exhale, roll down onto your mat. And placing your hands beside you. Walk your feet a little closer in. So you're going to keep your knees and your feet slightly separated. Get your pelvis and your spine happy. We're going up into a pelvic curl. On your next breath, tilting hips, rolling up. So this is just a lovely way to counterbalance what's been happening at the hip joint here. Wake up the other side. Take a breath in and exhale. Down you go. Imprint and release. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll up. Pause at the top. There's a lovely squeeze in the gluteals. And then exhale. And down you go. Let's do 3 more. Soften from the back of the neck and then melt your body all the way down. Let's take last 2. Double check for yourself that you're still rooting into your feet. And down through your spine. 1 more time. Tilting hips. Little bit of a squeeze into the gluteals here. And then roll through your spine. Finding a little bit of an imprint and release at the bottom. Now bring both your hands straight up, turning your palms to face each other. Let's just scissor the arms. Nice easy warm up for the shoulders. Finding that coordination and synchronizing the right and left sides of your body. 2 more. 1 more. Bring both hands straight up. Now stay here. Bring one knee up to tabletop. Anchor the abdominals. Bring the other knee up to join. Holding it there and place your hands behind your thighs. Now you're going to nod your chin. And on your breath out, come up into a chest lift and hold it here. Extend both legs straight up. And now lower your left leg towards the floor and bring your hands to the back of your right leg and slowly pull the legs away from each other. That's such a wonderful stretch in the back of the leg. Switch legs. Pull your left leg in towards you, long, slow pull. Do not let the right leg rest on the floor. Lift your leg, and now we're going to do another 6. Go at your own pace. Abdominals are connected, hamstrings are lengthening. We need this movement for our open leg rocker. 2 more. 1 more. Both legs straight up, hug your knees towards you, and lower head and shoulders all the way down. Just roll your head softly from side to side. It's a surprising amount of work around the neck, right? The neck flexors need to kick in there. And bring your head back to the center. You're going to cross your right thigh over your left thigh. And we're just going to slip ourselves into that perform stretch. This is we're lying here. So this is another muscle. If your hips are tight at all, so the deep gluteus or the big bum muscle here, it's also going to not help you with the open leg rocker if this is holding you back. So the more that we can release the hips, you're going to find the placement for the exercise a lot easier. A few more seconds. Take a breath in, and then release and hug both knees in towards you. Slip yourself to the other side, so you're going to have the left thigh on top, grabbing onto ankles, feet, wherever feels good for you, and then just allow yourself to stretch for a moment. Just enjoying this for a few more seconds. Take a breath in, and then exhale, release, uncross, and hug both knees in towards you. So now, bring your shins up to a tabletop position, get a connection into the core muscles and glue the legs together. Take your hands out to the side with your palms facing upwards for a little bit of a challenge. And you're going to roll both knees over towards the right. Don't go past the edge of your mat though. And exhale to draw yourself back to the center. Rolling both knees over to the left. Stay in the confines of your mat. And exhale back to the center. Good. Keep going at your own pace. So what we're facilitating here is, first of all, hoping to stretch your lower back if your lower back is tight. But also, it's the connection into the abdominal muscles, particularly the obliques, because again, you're going to be using these in order to help hold the shape of your body as you roll. Taking just a few more, Keep the knees and the feet stacked. Keep them in line. Last 2. Last 1. And hold it here. Put your hands behind your thighs. We're going to do rolling like a ball, but we're going to start with some momentum. So chin in, round your spine so you're in a tight little ball shape, and then use the kicking action of your feet and your legs to start rolling. So guys, you don't want to hit your neck or your head onto the floor. So make sure you stay tucked in. Use your legs to help you control the rolling action. Breathe. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Let's take a few more. Last one. And balance. Holding it here. Take a moment to move your hands to the outside of your ankles and shins. Lift your shins up halfway. You're still keeping your legs together. And then lengthen your spine so you're coming into an upright seat. And we're just going to stay here for 5 breaths in and out. We're not moving. We are finding connections and making sure that we're not taking any strain into the lower back. Sliding shoulders away from your ears. Taking one more inhale and exhale. And then round your spine, place your feet to the ground and take a moment to come into a seated resting position. Relaxing your lower back. Taking one more breath in and out. And then rolling upright, pivot sideways. So I'm going to do a mirror image for you like I usually do. So you guys should have your right shin towards the front. You should have your left leg out towards the side. Right hand comes to the ground. And let's do one long stretch over. And then releasing all the way up. Stay here for a moment. Turn your left hand palm up. Look up at it. And let's open up the front body. And then round and stretch the back body. Inhale, reach. And taking 4 more. Three more. Last 2. And notice how you do repetitions of these, that your range naturally changes, especially if you're moving with breath. Now bringing both hands towards the ground, just place your hands flat. Square your shoulders, and we're not going to do anything today. We are literally just going to sit here, and I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. And just find softness through the neck, through the shoulders. And allow the rest of your body to respond to the placement of your hands. Start to lengthen and deepen each inhale and exhale. And again, it's that expansion and release that travels from the inside outwards. And on your next breath, if your eyes are open, blink them open. Bring your right hand to the ground, left hand reaches up, and coming all the way upright. Pivot onto your sit bones, and once again, tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape. Hands to the front of of your shins and just balance here for a moment. Finding that connection towards the pelvic floor, those deep core connections. And then on your next breath, you can pivot your legs over to the other side. So now you're going to be sitting with your left leg to the front. So left hand to the ground, take one long stretch over, and all the way up you come. Pause here, turn the palm up, look up and start reaching back. Round your spine and bringing your hands towards the floor. And again, reaching back, opening the front body. And exhale, round your back and open the back body. 4 more. Feel free to find your own rhythm and pace. Last 2. One more time. Notice how your body is already starting to shift. Stay here. Place both hands flat. Square your shoulders to your hands. And then allow yourself to settle and breathe. Perhaps you'd like to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And then very consciously bring your awareness to your breath. And allow your breath to lengthen and extend. Taking one more breath in and out. If your eyes are closed, you can leave them open. Bringing your hands towards the center, pick up your arm, take a little peek underneath, and coming all the way upright. Pivot yourself so that you're sitting on your bum cheeks and move towards the front edge of your mat. So now we're going to do a little prep for the open leg rocker. So you're going to put your hands behind your knees. You're going to lean back a little bit so that you can pick your legs up and hold them in the air. But now separate your legs about hip distance apart. And then start to lengthen up through your spine. Now your elbows are bent. You're going to lock them in that angle. So guess what, guys? You need to use your biceps muscles here. I want you to inhale to curl your tail under and roll to your shoulders. And exhale to come up and lengthen the spine. Inhale, back you go. Exhale, up you come and lengthen. Good, very nice from what I can see. Inhale back. It's a smooth ride. 2 more times, breathing in. 1 more time, breathing in. And lift up nice and tall. Close your legs together and placing both feet down. Turn onto all fours. And settle yourself on your hands and on your wrists. Let's come into a little bit of a cat stretch here. Rounding your spine up towards the sky. Stay here for a moment. Move your hips back so you need to get a little bit of a stretch, a deepening along the lumbar spine. And then come forward again until your shoulders are above wrists. And now lengthen your spine, and this time we're going into a little bit of extension before we did neutral. Round your spine, feeling the lift of your belly. Sit back. Come forward. And then lengthen. Make sure that the abdominals are still connected though, even though you are extending. your spine. Sit back, giving yourself enough stretch. Coming forward. Lengthening, lifting tail, lifting heart, lifting eye. Rounding your spine. Sit back. And this time, come forward just to here. Tuck your toes under and let's move into a downward facing dog. So pushing into your hands as you sink your hips up and back, and then just pedal the heels. Getting that release into the calf muscles. So we've done a lot of mobilizing and lengthening along the hamstrings, the hips, the back. We haven't really done anything yet for the lower leg. The calf muscles can also kind of inhibit the open leg rocker. And now press both heels down, guys. You're welcome to soften the knees if you want to. Find the length along the back line of your body. And then lift your heels up so you're rising onto the balls of the feet. And then send your heels down again. And then connecting to the hands. Let's do 3 more. Rising up onto the balls of the feet. And then send the heels down for a little bit of an additional stretch. 2 more times. If your shoulders or arms are getting sore, take a break whenever you need. Last one, rising onto the balls of the feet. Sending the heels down. And then simply lower the knees all the way to the ground and release your feet back. I want you to walk your hands a little bit in front of you. And I want you to take your hands wider apart. Long spine, bring your shoulders in line with your wrists. Squeeze the bum cheeks a little bit. Bend your elbows and let's do a slow push up all the way down towards the ground. And stay here. So activate your bum, stretching your legs out nice and long. Roll your shoulders away from your ears and inhale to come up into a little baby cobra. And then exhale as you release down. And again, inhale, little baby cobra. And exhale down. 2 more. Inhale, baby cobra. And release. So we're just waking up those back muscles again. One more time, guys. We're going to stay up here for a second. Inhale to come up and exhale to stay. Now make sure that you're not straining your lower back. Your bum cheeks are active, so are your lower abs. Your heart is lifted. And see if you can hover your hands just off the ground. Get a little bit of a squeeze into the shoulder blades. Those are the rhomboids, and if you draw the shoulder blades down and together, you're going to connect into the lower trapezius muscles. So those are going to be helping us as we go into open leg rocker in a moment. Take another breath in, lower your hands and lower your head. Tuck your toes under, press yourself up onto your knees. Open your knees wide, big toes together, and once again, settle yourself back into a resting position. So after that extension of the spine and after some of the rolling, you might feel that your lower back needs a lovely stretch. So what can also feel nice here is to walk your hands and your head over to one side so that you get a little bit of a lateral flexion of the spine and it stretches into that lower back just a little bit more. Keep breathing. And then walk your hands through the center over to the other side. Notice if one side is easier for you than the other, maybe. walking yourself all the way back. And then slowly coming all the way up again. And from here, simply pivot onto your sit bones. And we're going to try now piece this all together for the open leg rocker. So sit towards the front of your mat. So you've got a runway strip behind you. And I want you to put your hands to the outsides of your ankles here. And then lean back a little bit and just pick up one foot. So it just gives you an opportunity to find your balance. And then stay there and see if you can pick up the other leg. So first thing you're going to do is find your balance. And if this is where you are, you just stay there. You don't have to do anything further. Start to lengthen up through your spine. Now stay here for a moment. Lock your elbows straight. We're going to roll like this with our knees bent. Inhale back. Elbows are straight. Exhale forward. Your elbows are straight. Inhale back. Don't let your head hit the floor. Exhale forward. Lengthen up tall. Let's do one more time. Inhale back. Exhale. Lift up. Now guys, you can keep doing that, or you could possibly extend the legs. Lock your elbows straight. Inhale back. Exhale up. Elbows are straight. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Let's do 3 more. Go at your own pace. Finishing your last one. Stay seated. Close your legs. Open your legs. Close your legs. Open your legs. Close your legs. Bend your knees, placing your feet down, and take a moment to go into a seated resting position. Very, very nicely done, my guys. Taking one more breath in and out. And then exhale, unravel, and coming all the way up into sitting. Make your way into a standing position. So you can stand however feels best for you. I'm just going to stand facing towards you guys. So you're going to actually bring your feet hip distance apart, but then pivot your heels so that they're touching in a little bit of a V position. So you've got the inside of the leg connected. Just let your arms relax down beside you, and you can either soften your gaze or you're welcome to close your eyes. And we're going to draw tiny, tiny circles in the standing position. And it might feel, if you're standing on a thick mat, it might feel very wobbly. So you might want to sort of stand on a firm surface. And just notice the connection to that deep midline of your body as you draw those little circles with your head on the ceiling above you. And then when you're ready, change direction and circle the other way. And notice how your feet have to work as you roll your body around. Notice your toes, ankles, how there's constant feedback from your feet all the way up your body. Come to the center and pause. You can separate your heels, so you're going to return to a neutral position. Allow your eyes to blink open, and we're going to do a roll now. Take a breath in. Exhale to look towards your feet, and just allow your body to unroll. Find the weight of your crown, the weight of your arms, stretching all the way over. And then maybe just give your head a little shake. No, no, no. Not your chin. Yes, yes, yes. Take another breath in. And exhale. Up you come. Abdominal muscles connecting, rooting into your feet. Rolling your shoulders back and around. Fantastic, guys. Awesome. Let me have a quick chat with you. I could see a few of you doing the exercise and it looked fantastic, but there were a few people that I couldn't actually see.